You see the 4-year age advantage for Smith. Monaghan already 32 years old as he reaches this threshold in his career. But he's got an 1.5 inch height advantage. Equal arm length measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. Monaghan weighed in 1 pound under the 175-pound limit yesterday. Unofficially tonight, he's rehydrated up to 182, and Anthony Caputo Smith will have an unofficial 8-pound edge in weight going into the ring as he weighs 190. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer to kick the evening off.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Thomas and Mack Center, Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. Tonight, by way of Win Las Vegas, Mr. Bob Arum and Top Rank Incorporated are proud to present an evening of world-class professional boxing for your entertainment. Sponsored by Tecate con Carácter, Wingstop, the wing experts, and Value Casa de Bolsa. All bouts sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. For this first bout, the 3 judges at ringside will be Tim Cheatham, Dave Moretti, and Bob Bennett. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, referee Tony Weeks. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this party started. 10 rounds of boxing for the WBC Continental America's Light Heavyweight Championship. Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with white, official weight 175 pounds. His professional record, 14 victories, including 10 knockouts, with only 1 defeat. He's the challenger tonight from Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, Anthony Caputo, the Bull Smith. And across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing green with white, weighing in officially at 174 pounds with a perfect professional record of 18 fights, 18 victories, including 11 wins by knockout, from Long Beach, New York, USA, the WBC Continental America's Light Heavyweight Champion, Irish Shawnee Monaghan.
Okay, here we go. Okay, gentlemen, you both received your instructions in your dressing room. Okay, the trunk's a little high right here, so right here is good. Aim for me a little slow. Right here is good. Aim for me a little slow. I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Above all, protect yourselves at all times. Let's go. All right.
Joined at ringside now by Max Kellerman and Roy Jones as we prepare to call these next 4 fights for you. Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. That's Anthony Caputo Smith's hometown against Long Beach, New York, Shawnee Monaghan. On his sweatshirt, as he entered the ring, Monaghan was wearing the emblem of a local bar in Long Beach, and that's quite fitting given what he acknowledges is his background as a bar bouncer, bar fighter. Says that he was working in bars in Long Beach all the way back to age 14 or 15, and that it wasn't unusual for him to come home with scuff marks on his face from whatever tussle he had to get into to conduct his business there. Top Rank has signed Monaghan to a contract, expecting he's going to help to fill houses with ticket buyers in various of their attractions around the country. They don't anticipate him being a main event fighter for shows like this. A guy who will have a cult following is their view.
And a guy who can box for a living now, a bricklayer by trade. It's funny about Monaghan, his story is generic in certain ways, and yet it's interesting somehow. The bar fights, how that led to work as a bouncer and eventually to the gyms, and his uncle made an apartment for him and his mom and his dad in their garage when he was younger, and where they lived for a while.
And you can see that he's worked on his game. And oh, by the way, pretty good living, at least for tonight. ESPN.com reports that he gets a paycheck of $100,000 for this appearance on the undercard.
Not a bad fight at all. Harold Letterman introduced me to him a little while back. Harold was kind of high on him because he has such a big following, but he's always willing to fight as well. So I've been liking what I've been seeing in his progress, and I'm looking forward to see how this guy holds up in front of him tonight.
Well, he's always been busy, Roy, and I think what he's added in the last couple of years are a modicum of boxing skills, a little bit of head movement, something that, you know, enhances his basic brawling style.
You saw him with some defense just there.
That's what I was just about to say. His defense has surely improved, and I really like seeing that.
He parried the right hand with his left elbow and shoulder. And given his willingness to fight, those kind of subtle improvements, if he's being used to help fill the house, especially on the East Coast, he can make some money in this game.
He sure can.
Exactly the kind of fighter for whom the first person he meets in the upper reaches of the boxing culture is Harold Letterman, a friend to fighters of every stripe.
I need that water, Joe. Nice deep breath. Put your arms down. Put your arms down. Deep breath. Spit in the bucket. Nice deep breath. Pay attention to me, man. Open your mouth. A little tight starting that first round, man. You gotta let that jab get your engine warm, man. You're sitting there waiting, bro. You should be getting off first every time. Don't make this guy.
You're basically throwing the same thing every time, all right? And you're kind of waiting for him to throw first. Okay, well, come on, let's go. This is big time now. Let's go, okay? It's time to show it, all right? Hey, what you work for, baby. All right? But do that feint every once in a while. Get that feint with the jab and fire that right here over top, follow left hook right behind it, okay?
CompuBox numbers in round one. Smith actually out through Monaghan, throwing 76 punches. Monaghan used those opportunities very well, ducking and slipping here and there, as you saw, parrying some punches as Caputo Smith was launching them, and Monaghan wound up 30 out of 56, meaning that he landed 54% of his punches in the round.
Well, Anthony Smith didn't come here to lay down. He's out here trying to fight. Both of them corner gave him the same instructions, which were to be first. So I'm impressed by that because I thought Anthony Smith was being first mostly the last round, but his corner said he wasn't.
Yeah, they want more from him after he threw 76 punches in the round.
What I like about Monaghan is I don't care how tough you are. And he's a tough guy, right?
Right.
But if you don't have technique on the professional level, a guy like Smith can beat you, and you see Monaghan concentrating on the technique he's learning. You see him applying it.
And it takes a lot for him to be patient to apply it because he has a few bruises around his face already from this fight, something that he's definitely used to, but he's still staying patient and in the pocket with his game. He's sticking to his game plan, and you really like to see that in a young fighter.
I don't think it's too much of a stretch to see him as kind of a light heavyweight Mickey Ward. I'm not saying he'll rise to the level to which Ward rose, but the personas are similar.
And he takes a good punch too because Anthony Smith just landed a beautiful uppercut, and it must have pissed him off.
Mickey Ward had the signature one-punch left hook to the body that could win a fight. Monaghan's a good body puncher, but doesn't have any one weapon quite like that.
I don't know, that overhand right there may have ended matters.
One difference between Monaghan and Mickey Ward. Ward turned pro at a relatively early age. Monaghan didn't turn pro until he was 28. That's a lot of bricklaying while you wait to make money as a fighter.
Well, he indirectly turned pro. He was at a bar doing the kind of fighting that it was leading to a paycheck at the end of the week, so.
Come on, give him up, give him up.
Good point. They trade uppercuts inside. Monaghan targeting Smith with the uppercuts and finally backing him out of the pocket with 3 or 4 uppercuts in a row.
And you see him trying to throw Monaghan, trying to throw short punches.
Very short control punches, and this is what you like to see because if they start to tire, those punches will become much more effective than the wild punches that Anthony Smith is throwing.
Stop, I got you.
And now Smith holds on and rides Monaghan back into the ropes after Monaghan landed some sharp right hands inside. Good body shot by Monaghan with the right hand. Caputo Smith throwing, but his punches travel wide don't seem to have as tight an arc as Monahan, don't land with the same thrust.
No, but they are landing a little bit.
Monahan could move his head a little more, it wouldn't hurt him.
Well, he did it in the first round, but then the fight broke out.
There he did.
October 19th, a special night for HBO Boxing. First, a can't-miss action fight between Mike Alvarado and Ruslan Probodnikov, and immediately after, it's the premiere of an all-new legendary night, the tale of Gaddy Ward, immediately after Alvarado Probodnikov on the evening of October 19th.
Right down the middle of what you're looking at in a way, instead of just trying to loop things where you don't even know where the punch is going. That's not the way you're training to fight. And you're not,
man. You got to bend your legs, man. Your legs are straight legs.
We got 2 rounds out of the way now. Okay, now it's time to get in this go.
Man,
all right.
This guy's never been 10 rounds, man. Keep that.
He said Monahan come with that straight right hand that I've been talking about all night, right on the earlobe / the high cheekbone. Very good right hand by Monahan. Oh, that was a jab to Monahan's nose that caused a beautiful nosebleed. Good jab by Anthony Smith.
And you heard Anthony Smith's corner telling him, okay, look, you've taken 2 rounds to get your feet weight in there. Now start doing what we told you to do. They feel like he needs to go at Monahan even harder than has been the case so far.
Monahan has better subtle skill. You saw on that right hand that Roy Jones just went over. He pushed off to get a little space and blinded Smith, and then threw the right hand behind the push.
And the other thing that he can do is he can change speed and velocity on his punches. He can throw strong punches, hard punches, or he can throw light punches that are sharp punches. So it makes a difference when you can change up like that. I don't think Anthony Smith can change up like that.
As George Foreman once said to me, it's just like pitching.
That's
you need
exactly
to vary
right.
the speed and vary the location.
And
otherwise, they time you.
And that's what Monahan is doing a really good job of tonight.
By the way, in round 2, Monahan landed 48 out of 90. So through 2 rounds in a row, he's landed over 50% of his punches by CompuBox count. That's very accurate punching.
The other good thing is Anthony Smith is definitely presenting him with a willing target, because Anthony Smith is seriously trying to win this fight.
Stop. Let him up, let him up.
Yeah, and that willingness to throw, and throw not as an opponent, but as a guy trying to win. Ooh, good right hand.
Stop.
That willingness to fight that way
Let him up.
has meant that he's able to reach Monahan, especially in this round, with some shots right through his guard.
Yeah, but usually when you can reach Monahan, that means he can reach you too. And that's exactly what Monahan has done this round.
A full-on brawl. They trade shots at close range. Monahan getting the better of it. And Anthony Caputo Smith beginning to look a little bit the worse for wear with a minute to go in the 3rd round.
Yeah, this is more of a beating, I think, than a brawl.
Yeah, the straight punches are really getting Anthony Smith. Only thing you want to see Monahan try to do here is go to the body a little bit more to vary his attack.
Yeah. Smith wants it to be a brawl, but he's getting his head flown.
And by the way, we've given you Monahan's interesting personal story. Anthony Caputo Smith works for a mushroom company, works for a company that grows and sells mushrooms. They gave him time off to train for this fight, time off to come here in Vegas and fight, and he'll be back in the mushrooms next week.
This fight's
almost over.
Good body shot by Monahan.
And Tony Weeks is going to stop it. We talked about all the accurate punching for Monahan in the first couple of rounds. Tony Weeks saw too many of those thudding blows landing flush.
That's a nice performance by Monahan.
Yeah, it was.
Well, for a couple of rounds, Anthony Caputo Smith stood in pretty well against the artillery, but by the end of the 3rd round, his head was bobbing around and moving at the end of all of Monahan's punches. And that's what Tony Weeks chose as his impetus for stopping the fight. In round 3, Monahan 42 out of 81, Smith 17 out of 58. Roy, here's another look.
Yeah, that was that straight right hand on the chin that started all the trouble. That right hand landed flush on the chin, buckled Anthony Smith's legs, and when it buckled his legs, that started the downfall or the destruction for his night, because Monahan fought very smartly. Those straight punches and short hooks kept him in it. So
Young man from Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, had a 14-1 record before this. Monahan was just better.
Yeah, too many straight punches. As you see him throw 4 straight punches in consecutive motion right there. I mean, it's just nothing the kid could do to get out of the way of the straight punches. Tony Meeks saw it and came in and stopped it. Great stoppage by the referee.
12th knockout in 19 wins for Shawnee Monahan of Long Beach, Long Island. And now let's go to Michael Buffers with the particulars on the TKO.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest comes to a halt as referee Tony Weeks stops about at 2 minutes 39 seconds of round number 3, the winner by TKO victory. He is still undefeated and still WBC Continental America's light heavyweight champion, Irish Shawnee Monahan.
First time on television for a national audience. Final CompuBox numbers. Monahan 120 out of 227, 53% overall. You see over 50% for power punches fairly frequently, but not overall. 54 of 208 for Caputo Smith. Power punches, Monahan right at 50%, 71 of 143. Means he landed his jab even more accurately than he landed his power punches. Caputo Smith, 41 out of 115, meaning that Monahan is not a world-class defender. And now Max Kellerman stands by with the new club fight hero, Shawnee Monahan.
Shawnee, congratulations. First, your impression of your win.
I got off to a slow start, a little bit sloppy and getting head hunting a little bit. He was a tough guy, had a hard head. I should have listened to my corner more and went to the body earlier. Maybe I could have got him out of there, but the kid came to fight. He was a tough kid, so.
Ringside, we noticed you applying some of the stuff you're working on in the gym, parrying with your elbow and your shoulder and trying to be responsible defensively, but you just seem like a guy who wants to mix it up. Talk to me about that.
It's hard for me. It's not my natural instinct. I want to go in there and rumble, and I'm learning from sparring with better and better guys, the little tricks that they do, and I could use them too if I just put my mind to it, but I just like to rumble.
Why didn't you go to the body when your corner asked?
I was landing headshots. I thought I could get him out with a spectacular knockout on HBO and everything, but, you know, I had to chop.
But you did.
Kinda, yeah. I wanted to get him out, but it's all right. I'll take it.
Okay, so not all that long ago, you're a bricklayer and you're getting into bar fights, and now you're a professional fighter who fights for a living. What's next? You just scored a knockout. You're being interviewed on HBO pay-per-view. What's next for you?
Well, I'm in the top 10 in the WBA right now, and I'd like to establish myself as a real player in the top 10 by fighting some other top 10 guys.
Shawnee, a pleasure. We look forward to it.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank Top Rank and HBO. Thank you very much.
Jim.
1 down, 3 to go here in Las Vegas. And you just had a blast watching Shawnee Monahan take out Anthony Caputo Smith. You gotta love Monahan in the interview. I kind of wanted to knock him out. Shawnee, you did. Oh yeah, well, I mean, get him out.